Welcome back, everybody. It is awesome to see you. Of course, I am Jonathan.
And I'm Kelly.
We are together, the Bags Pack family, with our 3 kids who are up in the hotel room still getting over jet lag. But as you can tell from the title, we have a lot of channel announcements to discuss with you today. Some pretty exciting news to go over as we have quit our jobs and are moving to Alaska.
Yep, I think we're going to cover just a little bit, just a recap of who we are, why we went overseas in the first place, why we're coming back to the US, and then we'll wrap up the video today with what the future of our channel is going to look like, at least for this year.
Yeah, it's been, so we've been overseas for 9 years. I mean, we left Alaska when Granite was 3 and Cedar was 1, and Forrest wasn't even born at that point, obviously.
Nope.
So over this course of 9 years, we've gone through a lot of changes and development. But yeah, let's get started though, before we go down that road too far, kind of where we were and why we went overseas in the first place.
So we're both teachers from the US. We both have our teaching license in Alaska.
And so when we graduated with our teaching certificates, we had a whole lot of student debt. We had about $100,000 in debt together.
Yep.
And we had just bought a house. We were first-year teachers, and we were in the Anchorage School District for 5 years. And we were just barely kind of making ends meet with that much debt and student loans each month. And then
we had a house, so a big mortgage that we were paying on. We had 2 little babies that we were raising. So
yeah, and so at that time we were kind of really making the decision: are we going to stay in Alaska? Are we going to go back to the Midwest, where we're from originally,
to be with our family,
or does the adventure continue overseas? And really, through a lot of conversation, we decided to look overseas, and that is when we landed our first job in India. And so we took Granite and Cedar, again 3 and 1, out of America. We were in Chennai, India for 2 years with our first international job. After those 2 years were over, we decided to continue looking. We ended up in Dubai. We were in Dubai for 3 years, which is also when we started the YouTube channel, which at the time was called Travel Hacking Teachers, because that kind of fit us at that time.
Yep.
And then we made the decision after 3 years in Dubai to go to Indonesia, which that's where we've been for the last 4 years. But during that time, that's when the pandemic happened and everything went crazy. And so we had a really young channel in Dubai, only a few videos. And when we left Dubai in
2020,
in 2020 of June, the intent was to come to Indonesia in August of 2020, but we got locked out due obviously to the pandemic and immigration issues. So we ended up staying in America for 8 months. We were living in Kelly's mom's house. We did our original trip to Florida, which is where we are now. Back then, so that was now 4 years ago, we went up to Alaska as well, just to kind of visit and see everybody.
Revisit everybody.
So we decided we got to Indonesia in February of 2021, and we decided for that summer to not
travel again
back to the US. So we decided to stay in Indonesia, and that's really where our channel had its first big bump. At that point, we were past 1,000 subscribers, but staying in Indonesia that summer of 2021 really kicked off our channel. It's actually when we switched to the GoPro, which is what we're filming on now, from a big point and shoot camera. So the channel developed in Indonesia.
It keeps changing. The channel just keeps changing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and so that's really a look at where we were overseas. And then when we went overseas for the last 9 years, we've managed to pay off all of our debts. We bought the house, as you saw, in Alaska a little while back. That was in another video. And so really that is the timeline of when we were in Alaska, had our kids, moved overseas, where we've lived, and now to you.
So kind of just to recap why we went overseas. In the first place, it was we have a couple of different reasons, but one was we thought it'd be really cool to raise the kids overseas, just to get them I don't know, just immersed in different cultures and food and languages. Like, that was our driver. A side benefit of it was to pay off our debt.
Right.
We were able to sell our house and use that money, plus our savings living overseas, to pay off all of our college debt and to be able to travel.
And save for our house.
And save for our house that we just recently bought, as Jonathan mentioned. And then, yeah, we just kind of, I think our original plan was to go overseas for 2 years and try and pay off our debt for college. And then we were having so much fun that now it's been 9 years.
Right, hard to believe.
Yeah. And so it's been an amazing journey for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the question as to why did we decide to quit our jobs and come back to America?
Yep.
That has a lot to do with timing of everything. So right now, as you know, we did buy our house. We bought a truck last December to set up for this. We kind of knew this was coming. It was sort of behind the scenes stuff we've been working on. But really, why now? And that has to do with our kids' ages. So Granite has just finished 6th grade. He's going to be into 7th grade. Cedar's going into 5th grade, and Forrest is now entering kindergarten for this next school year. And with those age groups and the fact that our YouTube channel is doing what it's done, we've decided to really focus and become full-time YouTubers. So over these last years of the YouTube channel, we've always held other jobs as teachers. So again, in India, in Dubai, in Indonesia, and now here we are. So we've quit our teaching gig. We are becoming full-time
YouTubers. We want to make content for you. We want to still travel and visit everywhere we want to go. We want to showcase Alaska, which is our home state, and really just have a time for our kids to connect with the U.S. because they haven't had that. They haven't grown up in the U.S. They can say that they're Americans, but they don't know what that means.
Yeah, they only, I mean, we left again when they were 3 and 1, so their connection to the U.S. has pretty much been in little 2-week increments on summer vacations when we've come home or on winter break.
Yeah, mostly at Nana's
very
house.
Short, the reason we chose now, as Granite is going into 7th grade next year, we are going to homeschool the kids for 1 year, just to see how it goes. We have confidence in our ability as we're both teachers, but we just wanted to give ourselves the flexibility to homeschool the kids, to focus a full year on full-time YouTube and just to see if we can make it work. And the reason this year makes sense to us is that with the 7th grade year and Kelly as a middle school teacher, that gives us that 1 year to really experiment, see if it's going to work for everybody. And then if ultimately it's successful, that's wonderful, and we continue on, time will tell. But if we are finding that it's just not the best match, the homeschool system for us, then we would give Granite still his last year of middle school, that 8th grade year, to go to a brick and mortar school in the neighborhood and develop his friendships, or continue developing. He'll still have friendships and all that during the homeschool year, but that gives him a chance to get into the school system before high school.
Right.
So if we had waited to say next year, that would have given him no middle school years in Alaska. And then we would have put him right back into high school in Alaska. And that, as like your first experience back to the U.S. public schools, might
be a harder transition.
Yeah, it's a bigger transition. So we figured the 7th grade year for him is a good year for us to experiment, to see if we can make YouTube work full time. And that's going to be rely a lot on how our videos do, and just how we
creative
grow.
we can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
How creative can we get?
Creative.
Yes.
We're okay.
We have lots of ideas coming up.
Yes,
so we're
absolutely.
excited
And we'll
about
talk about that in the next section, kind of the future of the channel.
Yeah.
But either way, that was really a big driver, is our kids' age, the connection back to America, how long we've already been overseas, and where we kind of foresee the future of our lives for ourselves, for our children, and the future of the channel.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
We're excited to try homeschooling. I taught 5th grade for 10 years, so that's what Cedar's going into, and middle school for the last 3 years, and that's where Granite's at right now. He's actually my student this year, which is pretty awesome. And it should be fun just to try it out and see how it goes. I know a lot of you ask, oh, what about the kids' schooling? What's going on with them while we're traveling? But really, like, while we've been overseas, they've just been going to school with us.
Yeah, I know on YouTube it looks like we're full-time right now, but we're not. We actually do all of our filming on our school breaks. That would be spring break, summer break, fall break, and Christmas break. So during those 4 big breaks is when we travel to new countries. We do this batch filming where we film every day, lots of videos, and then we roll them out while we're back at our regular traditional jobs at these international schools.
So we kind of like slow travel in the country that we're living in, and then we fast travel on our holidays to whatever countries pop up on our
radar
bucket list.
Yeah, there's a lot.
we
and
have
still more.
So many countries so that we haven't seen. So, it's just a really big world.
Yeah. Okay. And so now let's pivot and get to the future of the channel and where we're going from here.
Absolutely.
All right, change of scenery for you to keep you sharp.
We've talked about why we went overseas originally, and now we've kind of talked about why we're coming back to the U.S. So now
Yeah, we're going to focus on what's next for the channel. Now, the first thing you might be wondering is, are we done with overseas family travel? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. We have actually quite a few plans of upcoming trips that we're going to be taking, still featuring new countries, traveling, food markets, street food, all the things that we've built our channel on. So there's a lot of that still coming.
Plus, we want to go back to some of the countries that, well, we would love to go back to all the countries we visited, but we definitely are going to be revisiting places that we've been because we just had just such a wonderful connection.
Absolutely. So we are still going to be traveling overseas and enjoying that adventure with the kids. But for the immediate future, what we're going to do and what the big reveal is, and we are in Florida, I said that earlier, we are going to be driving to our new house in Alaska. Woo! But beyond just that, we have decided to extend it to the longest road trip in America. We are going to be starting here in the next few days in Key West, Florida, which is the southern terminus of the United States of America, and we are going to drive all the way through the continental United States, up through Canada, up to Dead Horse, Alaska, which is Prudhoe Bay on the Arctic Ocean, and that will then be well over 10,000 miles of driving. We're going to take several weeks to do it, and we are going to be featuring our drive over the next several videos. And what we're going to do is lay out one video per state. So our next video is going to be the Florida video, the Georgia video, the Tennessee video, and so on. So we're going to spend between 3 to 4 days per state highlighting just unique things that you can do in those states, having a whole lot of fun as we go.
Eating a ton of food along the way.
Absolutely. Adventures. Having adventures. State, what makes the United States so unique. And that's going to help, in my opinion, give Granite, Cedar, and Forest some of that connection that they want or need to the United States, what the United States culture is. I mean, they can talk all day about Indonesia, Dubai, India, and places we travel, but ask them about United States culture, and they actually don't have a whole lot to say besides Nana's house.
So we thought we have to actually drive a lot of our stuff from Nana's house up to Alaska anyway, so we figured let's just explore the whole route along the way and just give the kids that connection to the U.S.
And we have a map that we're going to show you the route we're taking. It's definitely going to be a unique drive on the states we're going to visit. But we do have so we are going to start in a minivan that we've rented here in Florida. We're driving that to the Midwest, which is where Kelly's mom lives. And as you know, if you've been with us for a while, we bought a new truck last December. At that point, we switched to the truck. We have a trailer that we're going to haul behind us, and that truck and trailer is what's going to get us from Illinois up to Alaska. So it's going to be a pretty epic road trip. We're going to roll out the videos very quickly, at least 2 a week. So we're going to kind of burn through the road trip as we post. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to feature some cool stuff, and I'm pretty excited about it.
If we pass through your state, let us know in the comments below what you liked or what we missed and all that good stuff, because I'm sure we're going to have lots of U.S. adventures ahead of us as well.
Absolutely, and I do think, and we have a map. We're going to show you the route. So if you see your state there, let us know things we should do in the state. We have a pretty good idea, but we're always open to a local's perspective. So should we get the map out and show everyone where we're going?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get that ready. All right, so we got this map. The funny thing about this map is we ordered it off of Amazon, but we had to ship it to ourselves in Indonesia, and through our company, we have a courier that does that. So we sent it to Ohio, they sent it to Indonesia, and we've been carrying this map since our business class flights with kids all the way here for this moment.
Yay, the big reveal.
The big reveal, you hold that, thanks. All right, so this is the map.
Okay. That one's hands-free.
So this is our North America map. I'm going to take a highlighter and show you the route we're thinking. But just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, we're going to start here in Key West, and we are going to drive all the way through right up to Prudhoe Bay. And this will be well over 10,000 miles because we're not going direct. But we'll show you that in a minute with a big Sharpie. But wow, that's when you look at it like that.
It's going to be a big one.
It's going to be a big one.
I mean, our kids are pretty good at traveling long distances for a long time because we are always on airplanes or trains or buses, but now we're going to be doing a road trip in the car
and a truck
multiple weeks. So I don't know how we're all going to survive, but we'll show you on camera how it is.
Okay, we're going to set this up and show you the route we're going to take specifically so you have an idea what videos are coming. And again, if this connects to you, you can shoot us a comment down below.
Yeah, let us know
what we should do in these states. But we're going to set this map up right now and give it a go. All right, we got the map set up. I got my red Sharpie. Ready for this, Kel?
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so ready to go. As I said, we are starting in Key West. And Key West is the southernmost terminus, so we start here. We're gonna drive up through Florida towards the east side. From Florida, we're gonna head into Georgia. We're gonna focus towards the Atlanta area, spend some time out towards the Appalachian Trail, more on that in the future and why that's significant to us. From that area though, we're gonna head into Tennessee, through Chattanooga, through Nashville, into Kentucky. Now in Kentucky, we have a lot of stuff planned. Cedar's very excited for horseback riding. So when we head into Kentucky, we're gonna go up through Mammoth Cave area. We're gonna head up to Louisville. We're gonna swing out towards Lexington, visit Red River Gorge, a beautiful area. Then we're gonna circle back and head over towards Illinois, which is of course Kelly's mom's area in northern Illinois. And at that point, we're gonna visit Kelly's mom, see everybody, enjoy the river that she lives on. It's just gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, switch out cars.
Yeah, that's
that
actually a good point, Cal. So that's when we turn in the minivan and switch to our truck and huge trailer that we bought. We haven't actually seen it yet, but it's gonna be a new trailer that's gonna haul our stuff up to Alaska and that we'll use in the future in Alaska. So after northern Illinois, we're actually gonna swing back down and work our way to Indianapolis, which is where my sister's from. And at that point, the kids are gonna hang out with their cousins, see their aunt and uncle. They are going to go to a soccer camp that they've gone to in the past, so they're looking forward to that. And then from Indianapolis, we are going to head north towards the Indiana sand dunes, and that takes us over to Michigan. So you can see it's kind of a loop-de-loo route. But Kelly, you wanna take over?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
see what else.
All right, so Kelly's gonna talk about the northern part of the trip.
The northern part of the trip. So once we leave the sand dunes area, we're gonna head into the western side of Michigan. We're gonna try and skirt around the whole Lake Michigan area, up kind of in that Traverse City area and Petoskey. And then we're gonna go up to the UP, or the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we're gonna check out the North Shore. And we'll cut down out of Michigan, we're gonna cut down to Wisconsin, and we're gonna travel across the northern part of Wisconsin.
I can't wait to see that area.
Yeah.
Everything I'm looking forward to on this trip, that whole area, that UP area, I've never been to. I'm excited to really see it.
It's gonna be great. Jonathan has never had a Friday night fish fry,
That's correct.
and that's huge in Wisconsin and northern Minnesota, and probably Michigan as well, as Friday night fish fry. So if you've never had a Friday night fish fry, our kids haven't either, so we're going to expose them to Friday night fish fry and Jonathan, and there's so many things in Wisconsin. That's where I went to my undergrad. I went to the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point, so it's going to be fun to be back home for a little bit.
And all of that will be featured in the Wisconsin video.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's continue
Okay.
on.
Continue on. We're going to hit up in the Duluth, Minnesota area. There's a few little places, and we have some friends up that live in this little area right outside of Duluth. This is where it gets a little tricky, because we try to decide, are we going to go through North Dakota or South Dakota? And I think ultimately we're going to head across Minnesota and down into South Dakota.
Yep.
There's great things about both states, but I think what we're looking forward to are I don't want to give everything away. We have a lot of things planned.
A lot of going on in South Dakota.
There's a lot going on in South Dakota. So we're going to hit South Dakota. I don't know if GoPro can pick this up. There are baby ants all over this.
The map is like covered in ants right now. This is crazy.
Oh, that's what you get for filming on the ground, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to cut across South Dakota and up into Montana. We have lots of friends in Montana. We're going to probably do a little bit of sightseeing up there. And then we end up in Glacier National Park. So we're gonna come up to that Missoula area, and we will be up in the Glacier area. Hopefully, the last time we went to Alaska, Jonathan and I drove up there in 2006. Just the two of us with our backpacks and a Honda CRV, and we went up to Glacier, but it was in April and everything was closed, like the roads and the passes were still snowed in. So at that point,
Better weather now.
yeah, we're excited. So it's gonna be beautiful. I'm really, really excited about seeing this northern part of the US.
Okay, let me take back over.
All right,
So we'll talk about going through Canada, driving up the Alcan, and ultimately getting into Alaska.
awesome.
All right, so from this area here in Montana. We continue up north, as Kelly mentioned, towards Banff, Jasper area, and then we are going to connect up to the Alcan. So we continue up as we go up here through Dease Lake, Whitehorse, then ultimately over to Dawson. Now at this point, we get in towards Alaska, and that is where we circle down to Tok, and we continue up towards Fairbanks, and that is where we now turn north and get to the Dalton Highway. This is all the ice road trucker stuff, and we work our way up to Prudhoe Bay, and that is again the northern terminus of the United States of America, creating the longest road trip in America. And we anticipate this route all the way up, all the way over, all the way through Canada, up to Dead Horse, to last, yeah, several weeks and well over 10,000 miles.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be
we'll
epic.
Try and put it all together for you guys, condense it, and shove out those videos twice a week still. As long as we can find internet and upload and download along the way, should be pretty.
I think we'll
pretty
be
good.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. How about you, Kelly?
I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I hope we've really answered your questions from that title. We quit our jobs and are moving to Alaska. We talked about where we've been, why we made the decisions, and where we're ultimately going. And it's going to be one awesome ride, one big journey. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we've really been building the channel for the last 4 years, and we feel like it is time to really commit and dedicate to creating content for you guys and really help show the world to our kids and now the US to our kids. So I think we're on the right path.
I do too. Again, with our journey to becoming now full-time YouTubers, I mean, to kick it off with this road trip as we transition back to the United States, at least for living. Again, as I said, we're not done overseas. There's still plenty of international travel coming via our channel. But yeah, to have this as the focus for the next several weeks, it's going to be a whole lot of fun for us.
Yep.
Cool. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the look into the Bags Pack family, catching up with where we are and what the journey is going to become. And we are going to build an entire United States playlist. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, as that's going to sustain us and help really create this full-time YouTube dream that we have and we're going for. And so to all of you who've been with us since the beginning or a very long time, thank you so much. Really, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and your support, and just thank you.
All your kind messages along the way.
About us and our kids and so on. And don't worry, Kelly's going to get a lot of vegetarian food. I know many of you are worried about that.
Yes.
But we're good.
Yeah.
And but really, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts to you, thank you so much. It's really been epic.
And we can't wait to show you Florida.
All right, guys, we're going to get started on this epic road trip from Florida to Alaska, and we'll see you in the next episode.